Control the economy of your community. Control the housing. Control the education. Control the jobs. Control the businesses. Under the very pretext that you want to integrate. No, you're out of your mind.
I largely vision escaping this place that's poverty-stricken. I'm honestly sickened, often on finger on top of the trigger. We got roll, black flag on ball in my picture.
And we are going to move on to our next guest speaker, a friend, person I've known politically for a long time, Tony Monteira, who is with the African American Studies Department at Temple University. And I'd like to add, sort of toot in his horn, is that he is writing a definitive biography on W.E.B. Du Bois, and that should be out soon. Tony Monteira.
Thank you, Nellie, and thank you, Harlem, for helping us to keep hope alive. Frederick Douglass said, "Power concedes nothing without a demand, never has and never will." We have yet to make our demands upon this presidency and upon this political system. Douglass went on to say that without struggle, there could not be progress. And he who wants progress without struggle wants the crops without the rain or the sea without its mighty roar. He would ultimately say about President Lincoln, a president with whom he had a very difficult relationship. And in his final evaluation of Lincoln, Douglass said at the end of the day he was the white man's president. After 100 days of the Obama administration, I think it would be fair to say he is the white man's president. But more, he's the president of the conservatives on Wall Street and the militarists and imperialists in the Pentagon and State Department. Albeit with all the symbolism and Hollywood flair that marked his campaign, his victory was a victory of marketing, of, quote, the American system of democracy and opportunity, end quote, with all of the subliminal messages of the end of race, or at least the declining significance of race. Most people are right when they say this is a presidency of crisis. The nation faces perhaps the greatest crisis since the Civil War, and maybe greater than even it. The economic crisis shows no signs of abating. War shows no signs of lessening, and democracy is in peril. However, this is the third major presidency of the modern era, that is, since the Civil War and Reconstruction. The first major presidency was that of Franklin Delano Roosevelt. It lasted from 1933 to 1980. It included Democrats and Republicans. It was defined economically by the policies of the New Deal, and ultimately in foreign policy by the policies of the Cold War and anti-communism. The second major presidency was that of Ronald Reagan. Lasts from 1981 to 2009. It includes also the presidency of William Clinton. So presidencies are not defined by the administrations, but by the goals, the philosophies, the policies that they stand upon. The Obama presidency is the third major presidency of the modern era. It is difficult to define precisely what its future will look like. However, after 100 days, I'd like to think it's more than 100 days, because it seems to me once he got the nomination, he was the president in waiting. That if you think McCain and Palin was a serious challenge to the billion-dollar campaign and candidacy and marketing of Barack Obama, I don't think you understand politics. This presidency was in waiting once it got the nomination. It had already been pretty much put together by the time he was elected. The inauguration was the coronation. So when people talk about 100 days, they're playing this administration very cheaply. This administration has pretty much either been in waiting or in power for something like 9 months. Now, if I were to define at this point